Inishkuji and Darikesh in Anam and Chaktishan Hohi to discuss the need to provide additional primary school places in the Donaghmede, Howth, Dublin 13 school planning area and adjacent planning areas.
Thank you, Ceann Comhairle. In recent weeks, Minister, I've been contacted by a number of parents who have been driven demented trying to find a primary school place for their children. For their children that are due to commence their formal education this coming September. The majority of these parents live in the Donaghmede, Howth, Dublin 13 school planning area. Parents living in the Belmayne, Clongriffin and Parkside estates are experiencing serious problems finding school places, and they are sick with worry about it. There are two schools in this particular area that are central to this problem: the Belmayne Educate Together National School and St Francis of Assisi Primary School. They have been told by the schools that they cannot accommodate any more pupils and that their children will be put on a waiting list. These parents have also applied to other primary schools in the school planning area, as well as schools in adjacent school planning areas and catchment areas, including schools in Portmarnock and Malahide, but to no avail. Minister, there is a massive building and construction taking place in this locality. It is on the northern fringe of Dublin City and borders the administrative area of Fingal County Council. This residential construction is most welcome. Housing for all is certainly delivering in this area, but there needs to be adequate planning for the resultant increase in population and school planning in particular. Parents in the Callester, Raheny, Clontarf school planning area and in the Beaumont, Coolock, Dublin 5 school planning area have also been in touch with me about their difficulties in sourcing school places for their children. This problem also occurred last year. It is clear that extra classes are needed in this school planning area for the 2003-2004 academic year. As you know, school admissions policies must be open and transparent, and therefore Section 29 appeals are not usually relevant in the cases that have been brought to my attention. So, Minister, can you let me know how the Department plans for the provision of adequate school places in a school planning area? I understand that it utilises a geographical information system to anticipate school place demand. You have said before that a lack of accommodation can be driven by a number of factors, such as duplication of applications, school choice issues, including patronage and single-sex versus co-educational considerations. So, as I say, there is a problem in this school planning area. It has been identified to me at this stage, early in the year. So I'm wondering, when your department actually decides that additional school places are needed, additional school accommodation is needed, because these parents, as I say, are particularly worried. They're on waiting lists all over the place and are really disappointed that they don't have any certainty regarding a school place for their child at this particular time. So any information you can give me in this regard will be greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much, Deputy. And again, I would like to thank you for raising the matter. It gives me the opportunity to set out to the House the position with regard to primary school places in the Donaghmede, Howth, Dublin 13 school planning area for September 23 and onwards. As the Deputy may be aware, for school planning purposes, the Department of Education divides the country into 314 school planning areas and uses, as you have referenced, Deputy, a geographical information system, GIS, to anticipate school place demand. Information from a range of sources, including child benefit data, school enrolment data and information on residential development activity, as you have referenced, is used for this purpose. Additionally, Project Ireland 2040 population and housing targets inform the Department's projections of school place requirements. Having considered the projected requirements in each school planning area, the Department then makes an assessment of the existing capacity within that particular area and its ability to meet any increased demand. Where data indicates that additional provision is required at primary or post-primary level, the delivery of such additional provision is dependent on the particular circumstance of each case and may be provided through either one or a combination of the following: utilising existing unused capacity within a school or schools, extending the capacity of a school or schools, or provision of a new school or schools. On the basis of such assessment, significant additional primary capacity is already being delivered in the area, including 2 recently established new primary schools, the Educate Together National School and Gaelscoil Gráinne. A new 16-classroom school building for the Educate Together National School is almost complete, and a project to provide a new 8-classroom school for Gaelscoil Gráinne is at stage 1. There are further projects providing additional capacity at Holy Trinity, at Colmkill Senior, and a recent project at Howth National School provided 4 new classrooms. The Department is also providing accommodation for children with special education needs at schools in the area, including at the 2 new schools and as part of projects at St Paul's Junior National School, St Kevin's Junior National School, Scoil Colmkill and St Paul's Senior National School. Whilst the Department is aware of increasing pressures and demand for additional school places in the Dublin 13 area, it is important to note that where enrolment pressures arise, it may not be as a result of lack of accommodation, but may be driven by the following factors as previously outlined by yourself, Deputy. So there can in instances be a duplication of applications where pupils have applied for a place to a number of schools, school of choice where pupils can't get a place in their preferred school while there are places in other schools in the town or area identified. Some towns or areas, as you've already identified, have single-sex schools, and whilst places are available in the school, they are not available to all pupils. There is also then the external draw, that is pupils coming from outside the local area. The Department is working to establish the true extent of any capacity issues across school planning areas through ongoing discussions with the relevant school patrons and authorities. This close engagement will allow the Department to identify at an early stage particular capacity requirements for the forthcoming years, which may necessitate further action to that already in train, including, where required, the provision of modular accommodation solutions. The Department will continue to keep the short, medium and long-term requirements for school places in the Donaghmede, Howth, Dublin 13 school planning area under ongoing review, including through liaison with the local authority in respect of its review of the development and local area plans. I can assure the Deputy that the Department will continue to work with schools and patrons to ensure that there is appropriate provision for all students in the Donaghmede, Howth, Dublin 13 area for the 23-24 school year and into the future.
Thank you, Minister, for that comprehensive response. Could I ask that your department would specifically contact Belmayne Educate Together National School and also St Francis of Assisi Primary School and ask them their position on this matter and what they would like the department to do in respect of their schools, and because I think there's a really particular local demand in the 3 estates that I mentioned. But I'd also like to ask you about the role of TUSLA Education Support Service in securing school places for children under 6 years of age, with particular reference to the Education Welfare Service and their education welfare officers. Local education welfare officers have told parents that they have no role to play in respect of children under 6 years of age, and yet in a reply to a parliamentary question I submitted to you earlier this month, you stated that, and I quote, "The Education Welfare Service provides guidance and advice to parents of children aged under 6 and over 16 with regard to applications for school places." So this needs to be clarified, and in my view the Education Welfare Service could be doing a lot more to help parents find school places for their children. Which brings me to the position of parents of children with special education needs in this school planning area. They face even greater difficulties. I also believe that the special education needs officers attached to the National Council for Special Education could be doing a lot more to assist parents find suitable school places. In this context, can you clarify if Section 67 of the School Admissions Act has been commenced This would allow for the National Councils for Special Education to designate a suitable school placement for a young person with special education needs where local attempts to resolve matters have not been successful. The parents I have spoken to believe that this section has not been commenced as yet, so I would welcome clarification on this issue as well from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lascan Corla. And again, I would like to thank the Deputy for giving me an opportunity to outline the position in relation to primary school demand in Donaghmede, Howth, Dublin 13 area. The Department is already providing significant, as I've outlined, additional primary capacity in the area on foot of forecasts of school place needs. This includes 2 recently established new primary schools. Whilst the Department of Education is aware of enrolment pressures in Donaghmede, Howth, Dublin 13 area for the 23-24 school year, it is important to note that there can be, as I've already outlined, multiple reasons for enrolment pressures, including duplications of applications for admission. The Department will continue to engage with relevant school authorities and patrons to monitor school place needs and to identify any required accommodation solutions over and above those already in train. In any area where there is an identified deficit of school accommodation for the 23-24 school year, the Department of Education has a project management service and modular accommodation framework in place that will assist in expediting the delivery of required accommodation solutions. The priority of the Department of Education continues to be to ensure that there are places available for every student for the next school year, and will continue to engage with patrons and school authorities in this regard. In relation to the 2 specific schools that you have raised, I am happy that there will be a follow-up in relation to that, but I think the answer in itself outlines very significant development in terms of whether it's the Educate Together National School, the Gaelscoil Gráinne and the Educate Together National School is a 16-classroom school. And as I say, the 8th classroom addition to Gaelscoil Gráinne is at stage 1. And the further projects providing additional capacity include Holy Trinity National School, Scoil Colmcille Senior National School, and a recent project at Howth National School provided 4 new classrooms. Specifically in relation to, and you've raised the area of children and young people with special education needs, the Department is also providing accommodation for children with additional needs at schools in the area, including the 2 new schools as already outlined. Sorry.